Welcome to Average Joe's Fantasy Sports Podcast, where we bring you news, notes, and more to help you win your championship fantasy football league. Stay tuned and listen in for the great information we have for you today.
Good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Average Joe's Fantasy Sports Podcast, baby. We back at it again. We out here. Got a good day for you. I talk with my hands like Ricky Bobby.
Yeah, good day for
I don't know
you.
what to do here.
-1, but still gonna be a good
Minus
day.
one. -1 house, Scott. But you still got me, Corey. And you still got
Jared, still in the building.
Jay Sizzle. We
So-
still here. We still ready to give you the best news that you can get.
Yeah, give you a all weekend recap from Thursday through Monday. So give you the breakdown. What we try to help you out with some of the injuries and things that happened this past weekend. Some of the gruesome ones,
Ooh.
especially on Monday night
Ooh,
yesterday.
that was. I mean, it might be irrelevant
It is
to
irrelevant,
fantasy, but gosh.
But you know,
Ugh.
just seeing that.
And then I'm sorry, you guys, but also another injury that happened that is going to affect a lot.
We'll bring that up in a moment.
But it also made me happy.
We'll bring that up momentarily. But let's start with the Thursday night game first. Panthers,
Really good game.
Eagles squeaked by, which is cool, but Carson Wentz still balling, 222 and 3 touchdowns.
Carson Wentz is a baller. It's Brett Favre-esque, except tall.
Except tall. Tall and a little more accurate in my mind.
Yeah, he's pretty accurate,
Yeah.
man. He was dropping some dimes to Alshon, or he dropped a dime to Alshon,
Yeah,
I
he
should say,
did.
towards the end. Like, I was like, dang, that was a pretty ball. He only had 222 for yards, but those touchdowns are all that matters, man. You could throw 300 yards and have one touchdown, you're going to have less points.
Right? So, in standard scoring, basically, he had 21 fantasy points, which is pretty solid. That's awesome. I would deal with that. Cam Newton on the other side, though, threw 52 passes for only 239 yards, a touchdown, and 3 picks.
Oh,
One of those picks wasn't his fault, though. Jonathan Stewart let that thing go right through his hands.
yeah.
That was awful.
That's why McCaffrey's the pass catching back.
Also, the number 1 rusher, though, Cam Newton, 11 for 71 and a touchdown.
Yeah, 71 dudes.
So,
That's pretty good.
yeah, he still got you 20
6 yards
fantasy
a
points.
carry almost.
Yeah.
Actually, more than 6 yards a carry.
What is that? Yeah, it's like, I don't know. That's like
Because
6
11 times 6 would have been
6.3
66.
or whatever it
Yeah,
is.
so 6.
Yeah.
6.8. No, I'm just kidding.
Whatever, man. Whatever.
7.454.
Nice.
Also on that team, bro. Whoo, Christian McCaffrey.
Christian McCaffrey. 10 for 56 in the score.
And the
So
touchdown.
he's still playing his role, the role they want him. Someone for Cannon to check down to, which he had to a lot this last game.
14 targets, bro.
14.
Oh my lord.
Ridiculous.
Oh.
If you're planning on Funches, though, even though he's been balling out, sorry guys, and anybody that rode the Ed Dixon train, she knew that was going to last very shortly. So Funches can bounce back and probably will bounce back.
Will.
Ed Dixon,
I wouldn't hold my breath on
I
it.
wouldn't. No,
He's more of a flyer.
maybe against the Bears. We'll see.
Against the Bears, I would definitely.
But if you start Calvin Benjamin, you're happy. 9 for 99.
Hey, back to back
13 targets.
Back to back. What? Oh, I'm excited about that. Kelvin Benjamin has got so much upside. And I hope that you guys can see that now too. Get excited about it. See if somebody will trade you him for nothing. Because some people aren't sold on him still. Try and get him. I guarantee you he's going to do good.
Alshon tried the ball too. He had 4 for 71 on 10 targets, so the targets are there.
Targets are
But the
definitely.
results are not. Nelson Aguilar, though, 4 for 55 and the scores, so he's got another one this week.
Oh, yeah.
So
Nelson Aguilar and Alshon Jeffrey, I feel like, are going to continue to ball along with Ertz.
Ertz is just He's having the best year of his
He had
career.
2 catches, but both of them were touchdowns.
Really, it's ridiculous.
I was salty. I was like, okay, bro, you could just throw in one of those to like Elshon, bro.
Some things don't make sense in life, but apparently the Earth's, he's just defying all physics and anything that you can cause that normal laws in this world, he's just defying them.
Mm-hmm. Defying gravity. No, I'm sorry.
Let's see here.
I'll switch it to another game because these
I'm gonna
ones
try to
I
stay
hate.
semi in order here, so we'll just go this way.
Oof.
Let's talk about the Raiders and the Chargers. Raiders.
If you got happy about Derek Carr coming back, thinking maybe he would boost some output of your receivers, he boosted one, but that's
It's always just Crabtree.
Yep.
Now,
For now.
Cooper did draw 2 penalties to get on him, so he wasn't able to catch the ball, but he drew penalties on those that were going his way, which was solid.
And he had another. He had a really good game catch,
Mm-hmm.
but it got called back on a penalty. And he had 6 targets and caught 5 of them.
Right.
So that speaks good towards his struggles because he was dropping some easy passes.
Yeah, he was.
I feel like don't give up on him. It's Amari Cooper, y'all.
You used to buy way low though if you can. I mean,
Oh, I guarantee you give them chump change.
because no one else other than Crabtree's doing anything, so you don't have to worry about any other guys coming and taking his spot really. So that's a solid thing.
They're probably gonna start double covering Michael Crabtree.
Right.
I know that
And the
sounds
guy that went
far-fetched.
6 for 10, 52 in the score. The guy who keeps scoring, getting all the yards. You gotta focus on him. You gotta keep counting him as number 1 right now, though. He is the number 1 there. That's how you have to look at it.
He is
Sad.
definitely the number 1. He's
Ooh,
taken the
self
spot so
offense.
far this year. But Derek Carr,
Oh, to all your
Terrible.
Marshawn Lynch people, it's not running terrible, but man,
he does not.
he just doesn't get any touchdowns. He's got 2 on the season. That's it.
Because when they get to the red zone, they're like, all right, Rashard or Washington, get in here. And then
not
they
good.
do end arounds to Cordero, and he takes it in for the touchdown.
No, I think better days from Derek Carr. He's 21 for 30, so that's good.
Yeah.
Only missed 9 passes. That's not bad. But we'll switch over to the Rams, or excuse me, the Chargers, and
LA, though. Same thing.
yeah, I was thinking LA all day. The only one of the 2 LA teams that doesn't get any love. Because nobody goes to these games. Everybody
not?
goes. The Rams get love out there. The Chargers don't.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Phillip Rivers, 25 of 36, 261 in the score. No picks, which is nice, but you really want to see that pick up, though. You want to see him throwing like 3 touchdowns. He's got Denver this week, so.
It's not going to be a good matchup.
But he threw 3 touchdowns and 1 pick against them before.
True.
So.
And I feel like this is the match where Hunter Henry will get a favorable matchup. I know they got decent linebackers, but
Mm-hmm.
when I say decent, I don't literally mean decent. They're freaking ballers.
I think there's so many weapons on that offense that even as good as Denver is, they just gave 116 yards to Orleans Darkwa.
Exactly.
So there is some weaknesses out there. If the Giants, who are 0-5 at the time, come in there and get a W,
Then these
it's possible.
They
The
have-
Chargers are rolling right now. They're feeling confident about themselves.
Oh yeah.
And Trevor Simeon's feeling the opposite.
Oh yeah. He's looking bad too.
Yeah,
He's looking just like he
terrible.
did last year.
So, start Melvin Gordon up. He didn't have a good, again, yards per carry. He had like 3 yards per carry, 25 for
83 yards though and a touchdown.
touchdown. And then he's in the passing game.
Passing game.
9 for 67 and then another touchdown.
Dude,
The volume is ridiculous.
2 weeks in a row, he's got
It's
30 PPR points.
Yeah, it's
30
ridiculous.
plus.
Keep rolling Hunter Henry, 5 for 90. He looked good too, making moves.
He was
after the
making
catch.
some good catches.
Roll out Keenan Allen. I know he's going to be getting picked up on Aqib Talib, or CJ Harris, whatever. Doesn't matter. Keenan Allen is such a get peppered underneath guy that he'll find a way to get
Oh, yeah.
open. So,
I
he'll
think
probably
this
be
is
focusing on
only-
Melvin Gordon.
Only bad game that he had was this one.
Yeah, he's got me, even before I traded, he was like 12 to 15 points every week.
Dude, he literally, when I had him before I gave him to you, I was getting 17, 19. I was like,
You
I'm
saw,
fine.
I got a 20-pointer out of him.
He's
So that's
really
what I got,
good.
so.
He's great, actually. But
I love Keenan Allen. I'm glad he bounced back. I didn't draft him. I actually passed over him a couple times because I was nervous about his injury before. But he's been balling out like crazy.
he has been looking phenomenal. Oof. I do have Hunter Henry on my bench Ooh, I like it because I got Jimmy Graham. So it's like I got both. If I want to throw 2 tight ends in a flex.
Here's what you want to do, though. You want to start Le'Veon Bell all day.
All day.
Because he helped beat the Chiefs.
He needed to knock all that rust off. He had so much rust the first few weeks. But
he
then
figured it out. Saving Big Ben, kind of making it a little easier. 32 attempts, 179 yards, and a touchdown.
that's phenomenal, actually. That's really good.
That's crazy. It's still a good yard per carry, too. So that is phenomenal. Good for him.
He's
5+ yards per carry on that.
freaking baller.
I'm so glad I didn't trade him to you.
Yeah, I mean, I would have sent you Melvin Gordon.
No, the first trade was Odell and somebody.
Oh, and you were probably thinking about that.
Nah. I was pretty quick to turn it down.
Yeah, I bet you probably had a little thought though. You're like, Odell, oh god, he's the
Well, I
best
like Odell,
receiver.
don't get me wrong, but
Yeah,
there's just something.
I'm glad that
the
didn't
reason I
happen.
did it was because of the original ankle injury. It still made me nervous. He was playing well. Like Eli was a problem, and the ankle was still a problem. It still came to be a problem. So
And then he started balling the hell out, and then
yeah,
someone likes to go hit low on him.
yeah, that was not.
Oh my
good.
gosh, damn
Antonio Brown though,
AB.
dude, it's just another day for him. Though. It's nothing special. 8 for
Granted.
155. It was a free catch.
it. That was a free catch,
But
but
to stay aware and stay in bounds and to take it to the house is a very good play.
taking that away, he'd still have had 16 points.
Yeah. He's again just
PPR.
another day in the neighborhood for Antonio Brown. He just wakes up and catches touchdowns and I don't know, goes for 100
Catches
yards and
everything.
goes back to bed. You know, just does it because he wants to.
Only thing he doesn't catch is colds, because he's already too sick. Ugh.
Now everybody keeps talking Juju Smith. You know, we'll see which one of him if Martavis Bryant or if he actually comes up and starts to excel. We will see what happens because Martavis Bryant has yet to show up, and Juju Smith has actually got more scores in the year than Martavis does. So
I think that changes though.
we'll see. We'll see what happens this week. Keep an eye on him though. If you do have a roster spot, 14 team leagues, maybe.
Oh yeah, but dude, the last years he was like playing and active. His best fantasy seats, he was like I think it was wide receiver 15 through week 7 to the end of the year.
Big
That's-
Ben was better than.
Exact, true.
Big
That's
Ben
true.
Big
That's
Ben
true.
doesn't throw 5 picks.
And he wasn't in such a scandal of like being mad at his team. I
Yeah.
understand Bryant because he only gets 3 targets. Really, I'd
Yeah.
be pissed.
Right.
But give me like 5. That's all I'm asking for, bro.
Word.
I'm just
give the man 5.
give him 5 targets.
Now let's talk some Chiefs because we got some injuries that went on here too. So let's go into Kareem Hunt. Didn't do that great on the ground, 9 for 21, but finds a way to get it done and get 100 yards overall again, which is 5 for 89 on 6 targets. So he still gets it done in the passing game, always.
Yes, he does. He's always gonna have some numbers, whether it be running or catching.
The irrelevant relevance here is D'Anthony Thomas 3 for 61 in the score,
That helps nobody.
right? But it might in the future because Tyreek Hill is in concussion protocol.
And that definitely is his favorite, other than
Yeah,
Hill.
because he had 7 targets along with Kelsey, who also had 7 targets. So
You also got Conley, who's hurt.
So saying D'Anthony Thomas' role might pick up. So again, 14, 16 team leagues. If you're looking for somebody, this could be it. You know, he could be a nice bye week filler or whatever the case you may be. If maybe your team dropped full of injuries, you need just a desperation play. If Tyreek Hill does not make this game and it's on a short week, D'Anthony Thomas might be that guy. Also, he'll be the guy in kicker returns. So.
Yeah. Hey, and you get
There's a
points
chance
for
for
those
that.
too
Yeah,
if he
you get the
scores.
touchdown, so you have a chance there.
You get the touchdown, not the yards, though.
Yeah,
That'd be freaking ridiculous.
I don't know. It'd be
109-yard return.
Right. Crazy. Sarkandrick West is also that just means more love for Kareem Hunt.
Mm-hmm.
So
And also
in concussion protocol, I should say out in concussion protocol.
the other Hunt. I forgot his first
Hakeem.
name. Hakeem Hunt. He's not the greatest, but he does his fair share. He's good enough.
He does things.
To back up.
He does things.
That's the. Ugh. Alex Smith screwed me. He
Yeah.
got me 19 points, so I can't complain. But
No,
still.
19 points is actually what it would be close to the average, which is usually 20 points a game. So, I can't say he screwed you, but he didn't do that
He almost
great.
did. Sorry,
He
that's what I
almost
meant
did.
to say. I still won. But if he didn't have that lucky touchdown, dude, I probably wouldn't have won. I would have lost. But this next game was phenomenal because the greatest ever
Tell me about it.
running back.
Tell me about it.
That man, well, I called and I said, I didn't call him literally. I'm saying to all the people that were around me when the trade happened, said Adrian Peterson, I guarantee you will get 1,000 yards with the Cardinals. Not total of the year. He'll have more, obviously, because whatever he got was the Saints. But I think with the Cardinals, he's going to get 1,000 yards. And yes, that's even with David Johnson coming back.
How do you think he's going to do against the Rams next week?
I don't think he's going to do that great, to be completely honest, because I think that their front is just too powerful. It's gonna, and the Cardinals' offensive line isn't the greatest. They played Tampa Bay, and yes, Peterson looked like the old Peterson. He looked like all day. Rushing 26.
Defense let him run back, though, with Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Mm-hmm.
News here, Jameis Winston left the game in the first quarter, early in the first quarter. So, good. Recover well, my friend. But he's got a shoulder injury, possibly nothing broken, so from what I've seen, but we'll get more update on that come tomorrow on Wednesday, so we'll bring you news on that. But if he doesn't, Ryan Fitzpatrick was actually very serviceable with 3 passing touchdowns, and rallied them back to almost pulled off a victory. So
yeah, that was pretty nice. I was like, okay, dude.
So if you're worried about anybody, let's talk Mike Evans real quick. If you're worried about Mike Evans, he went 395 and a touchdown. He was solid there. If you're worried about Cameron Brate, why? 6% mistakes and another touchdown.
Shoot.
There's no reason to be worried on that one. So your normal passing and receivers will be good. And Ryan Fitzpatrick's got nothing to lose. You got to toss the ball. If you have Deshaun Jackson, 3 for 38 a touchdown, getting looked at out there. So that's rock solid. And then we'll switch back to and Doug Martin. Sorry.
Yeah, like don't leave my boy
14 for 53 and a touch. YPC could be better, but they were trailing this game, so it's a little different ball game when they're trailing.
Think about that though. 2 weeks in a row. I'm sorry to interrupt, bro, but 2 weeks in a row he gets limited action, 14 carries in like both games, and still comes out with 14 plus points fantasy wise.
Tampa Bay's got the Bills, so if you need them too, maybe you start Fitzpatrick. Maybe you need a desperation play. Maybe he's daily fantasy play. Well, I don't know, but
exactly. I would.
He threw 3 touchdowns on the road against a good defense, so keep that in mind, everybody.
Especially in the paid type of like daily fantasy.
Yep, the daily fantasies.
Dude,
I might even stream
cheap.
him. I don't know. Like, he would be cheap.
Exactly.
I might even stream him, but yeah, he had 290 yards and 3 touchdowns, 2 picks, but he's a slinger, so he doesn't care. Adrian Peterson, like Corey was talking, ran beautifully.
Oh,
Everything about that was fantastic.
he looked good, but the even
And-
better old man.
Larry Fitzgerald, the legend, 10 receptions, 11 targets, 138, and a score.
One
So
incompletion.
the 2 good friends on the team did damage. They did their due diligence for their team. And then John Brown or Jawan Brown?
It was
Which one?
John Brown. Who
John
got the
Brown.
touchdown.
Yeah, he got 3 for 63 and a touchdown, so when he's healthy.
He's
No.
loved there when he's healthy, but as you
When
can
he's
see, he was second in targets with 4.
Yeah, Larry Fitzgerald definitely got to have in PPR and in standard in some cases. He did some good damage in standard. It's still 19 fantasy points in standard leads.
Mhm.
He actually ended up with 20. I think he had like a weird rush thing or something. It also went on. So, but that's perfect.
He had 19.8,
You're 19.
so basically 20.
You're 19.
I am 19.8.
Yeah.
Ooh, this next game sucked. No, I'm just kidding. So I actually got the next greatest running back.
Oh, Patrick Peterson's hurt, so
That's why
let's see what happens against. Jared Goff looks terrible. Maybe this is a chance for him to fix his life up.
they were saying Patty's probably gonna play though.
No, he's not.
I hope not. Shoot,
Is he gonna play hurt? No.
I'll throw in Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
It's counting. I'll throw up Sammy Watkins.
Let me tell you about some Jaguars quick. Bortles was borderline long. 23-35, 241, touchdown and a pick. That's great by his standards. So, but the man of the hour, the only man of the hour, is Leonard Fournette, who was 21 attempts, 103 yards, and a touchdown.
The next Adrian Peterson. Hands down.
I mean, he just runs aggressively.
90-yard run last week, 75-yard run this week.
Yep.
Who's the last person who's done that like that? Adrian Peterson, his rookie year, had like 60 yards, 50 yards, 80 yards. These are ridiculous. And they got Chester Taylor in there with a 99-yard run. I remember that play too. When we had Peterson, it's like, whoa, dude! When he was a rookie.
Rookie.
Sorry.
Marquise Lee.
Marquise. Definitely a definite need. I think that he's gonna get more love than Ellen Hearns. So if I were you guys, I would swip swap. Ellen Hearns is like, dude, he'll have 1 or 2 good weeks and then just drop off. Like Marquise Lee, he hasn't been the greatest, but I feel like he has more upside. He's younger, barely, but he's got more talent. He's got better hands.
He's got better hands than all of them. Chris Ivory, 9 receptions on 10 targets, 74 yards and a score. I mean, maybe in PPR you can use him. I think this is the second week he's actually been kind of relevant. So, I mean, he's being used in the passing game, which is extremely strange. I didn't even know he had that ability.
Yeah.
I guess he does. So, kudos to him. But receivers for St. Louis LA is irrelevant. I mean, Robert Woods, 5 for 70. If you're going to pick one of them, as of right now, it's just Robert Woods.
Yeah. I wouldn't even, to be honest, I'm not going to.
Oh, I would. But if you had to.
Ooh, Jared Goff's numbers were terrible.
Terrible. 11 for 21, 124. Touchdown, no interception, which is solid.
Fantasy-wise, we should say he was terrible.
He was a game manager. He did his thing to not get them the loss. But Todd Gurley got 100 yards rushing, so 23 for 116. If you put a score in that, you'd be even happier. But you're happy to see him hit 100 yards, and the workload is still there.
I think it was the first game he didn't score a touchdown this year.
He didn't score the last 2, actually.
Oh, for real?
No.
Oh, yeah, it's because last game he had a bunch of catches.
Yeah.
He had a bunch of yards all around.
He figures it out, and he's put his last 2 seasons way behind them because he's doing all kinds of damage out there now, which is insane. So good for him, bouncing back.
Oh yes.
Well, guess who's not bouncing back though?
Ooh, that man, E-Man. No, I'm just kidding. He's not really gonna bounce back.
You're not gonna bounce back.
The Browns.
That's what I'm saying. The Browns are not gonna bounce back.
They're terrible. You
Tell
can throw any quarterback in there.
Tell me about it.
He's going to throw at least 2 interceptions. Kevin Hogan, 20 for 37, 140, a touchdown, and 3 picks. If you got desperate enough to start him, I'm sorry for your fantasy team.
Yeah.
One good note is, for the first time in this season, Isaiah Crowell had nearly 5 yards per carry.
Yeah, I was
12 for 58. He didn't have that great of fantasy points-wise. He got 7 in standard leagues. I was kind of happy with that because my next running back had like 6.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had Doug Martin in there too, so with them 15 points played. But happy about that. And then nobody really to love on Cleveland's receiving aspect other than Duke Johnson. But he's a running back, so that's a good two-way thing. If you got him PPR, that's smart. Other than that, you shouldn't have anybody on Cleveland.
You talking about Houston then?
Houston, I love Houston, bro.
Tell me about some Watson life.
Dude, Watson, from the minute I saw him in college, dude, I knew he was going to be this good. And he's throwing the ball he may not have had a bunch of yards. He went 17, 29, 225 yards, 3 touchdowns again, and a pick. He's just been on fire.
Lighting it up.
Fire.
29 fantasy points.
29 fantasy points.
And this is CBS standard scoring.
CBS. He had 6 carries for 23 yards also to add on to that. I think that it continues. I know they're on a bye week. They're on a bye week, so
it's even better. It couldn't come when you're balling out during a bye week. You get rejuvenated, come back. You can ball out even more.
And I was gonna have to play against him again. Thank God. I got lucky because in this game The best receiver, Will Fuller. Because for some reason he always gets that one catch.
It's deep and it's a touchdown.
And it's a touchdown. And that's how I lost last week to you. Just kidding. That wasn't to you. That was to you.
That was to
That
me.
was to you.
Standing league.
That was to
Wait,
you.
just
Ooh. Ooh, hey, hold up, hey, follow. Hey, he always only gets 2 catches, but it's 60 yards and a touchdown.
So
I'm just
I'll
like,
take it all day.
Whatever.
So we'll do Will Fuller, start them, obviously Hopkins, when they come back out bye, fire him up, keep him running, keep him going.
Hopkins.
Lamar Miller, keep him plugging along. He didn't have a great wide
He's
yards here,
consistently
but
getting 10 points in
He
PPR, bro. And that's not bad. People are like, oh.
3 for 40 in the passing game, and then 15 for 41. Deontay Foreman wasn't much better, 12 for 59, 5 yards per carry, close to. So that's solid, but they're both getting work. There's enough offensive work to go around because they score in such fast fashion that the heck you gonna do? You can't stop them.
Their defense is probably going to take a hit this year, so they're going to have to be keeping pace. I feel like Houston's kind of going to be like the Saints, like of last year, and kind of this year. But the Saints' defense has stepped it up in the last couple of weeks.
They have. They're not the same defense from last year.
Ever since Lattimore came back from his concussion and is healthy, he's a really good defensive rookie. He's making impacts.
Truth. You ready to hit the speed button on this one?
Speed button on this one because nobody.
I was right. There's one. Yeah. Dang. Woo! Let's start with Chicago. Trubisky got nothing for him. 8 for 16, 113 and a score. Good
that
for
other
him.
quarterback, dang.
Tariq Cohen, 1 for 1, 21-yard touchdown. 2. Boom. Zach Miller. If you need a bye week feeling though, Zach Miller can be that guy. He is getting some kind of attention out there, so that play was drawn up for him. But you also have Deion Sims. Ooh, the other tight end out there. Yep. Maybe you start saying 2 for 42 touchdown. What?
It's good. They don't have receivers, so they're like, let's just run double tight ends.
Running tight ends all day. But Jordan Howard's a guy you really want. 36 attempts, 167 yards. 53-yard scramble. He does damage. He can do damage in all kinds of areas out there. For the Ravens, you want nobody.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco's doo-doo. Do not pick him up for any bye week fill-in if you can avoid it. He's very Allen 10 for 49. Average almost 5 yards to carry, but no scores. Not used enough in the passing game. 3 for 17 only.
He's not a bad player.
No.
It's just...
But Alex Collins, 15 for 74. He needs to get involved in the passing game, and he needs to get a touchdown, and he becomes super fancy relevant. One score puts him at fancy relevance.
Exactly, because he'll get like 70, 80 yards, and it's just like, okay, that's like 6 points sometimes, because like he'll have a fumble. But it's still out.
Tell me about it, Doug.
Oh, Lord, I'm sorry.
Let's see if you can do it in a semi-fast.
I am sorry for your loss, but I'm not sorry you lost to my team, Green Bay. One of the big news, big old news, that man Aaron Rodgers, the greatest quarterback who ever lived. Oh God, did I just say that? All right, he's one of the most talented ever, but
yeah, he is.
Broke his collarbone. So I got a joke for you. Aaron Rodgers walks into a bar, breaks his collarbone. Anthony Barr, A Bar. Oh Lord, I'm not funny. But
Yeah, so Aaron Rodgers might be done for the rest of the season. So
I would bet more he is because he broke the collarbone on his throwing arm, and they say the average person in the NFL or in sports that gets that injury, it takes 3 months to get a full recovery.
yeah,
3 months from now is January.
yeah.
He's not going to play. I wouldn't waste it. I mean, he might play in their season finale, but he ain't going to play for your championship. So get rid of him.
Here's the thing, though. I don't think that they're going to deviate too much. I mean, they're basically kind of the Patriots next man up. They might dial back the offense a little bit, simplify it enough for Hundley to get the ball out, but you're still going to be starting Jordy. You're still probably going to start Adams. You just bump him down to wide receiver 2 for Jordy.
Yeah.
Probably wide receiver 2 for Adams as well. And then wide receiver 4 for Cobb.
Cobb, definitely 4. I wouldn't give up on Ty Montgomery.
Nope, he's still a rusher. They're going to need them. They're going to lean on him and Aaron Jones. So if you have them, fire them up.
I think Ty gets more love, but Aaron Jones will
Check
get a
downs.
lot of love. Yeah.
Check downs for Ty.
I think Aaron Jones on first, second down, probably Ty on third down, or maybe even on all three of those downs as like a receiver on two of them. They need to get. I feel like Montgomery would be a baller receiver again. Throw him back there. He can run it and catch. I just want to get him in fantasy so I can have him.
Yeah.
And then so
roll
he
him
can do
out,
that.
roll him out.
But that's all the relevance on that.
Tell us Bennett, get rid of him. He's useless.
Martellus Bennett dropped that pass
He's doo-doo, get him out of there.
where Aaron Rodgers got hurt on.
Tell me about McKinnon, though.
McKinnon is a baller. Little man, little tiny dude, quick as heck. They call him Jet for a reason, baby.
Tell me his stats.
He's got 16 carries, 69 yards, and a touchdown,
Beautiful.
baby, again. And
Tell me about the
he
passing
doesn't only run the ball. He catches it. He's got the screens. He catches it.
Preach.
Doesn't drop it. He got 5 catches, 30 yards, and a touchdown. And
know.
on that play, he followed his blockers, looking like a mini Le'Veon Bell. And then you got the GOAT, Latavius Murray, just
Tell me
kidding.
about it.
15 carries for 28 yards. I
Yeah.
would drop him.
Yeah, tell me about that feeling. How you feeling right now?
I'm feeling like a boss because Adam Thielen is a baller. Consistent. Great at everything he does. He runs routes perfect, everything. 9 catches for 97 yards, but the bigger picture, mainly because Diggs, I guess, but he will continuously, I guarantee.
He does. Even when Diggs out there, he still does his thing. But
Exactly.
Treadwell made a sick catch.
Oh,
Nice 3 for 3, 51
Get
yards. Let's see him play some
him
ball.
ball!
Get him ball.
Get him the ball, Case Keenum, or I don't think Sam Bradford's ever going to play again. But get him the
Start
ball,
Rudolph.
Case.
Start Rudolph, too.
Laquan was a first-round pick for a reason.
Reasons, dog.
Mossing dudes.
Reasons. Let's dial back up. Let's go back. Let's go
to this cheat. I'll let you have this one because you got impacted by it.
I still won, though.
Okay, good. Never mind, man.
I went 3-0 this week in league, so I'm not too
Imagine
worried.
if
But
you lost
I
by
do
like
want to
5.
go over this because I thought that should have been a touchdown. He lost control by the time he got to the pylon and covered it, though. He regained control before he went out of bounds. So, how you going to rule that a touchback? Because by the time he was falling out of bounds, he had control. It's
Yeah.
perfectly fine.
And if at the worst case
I'm
scenario,
talking about Austin Safarian-Jenkins, just for y'all know and anybody that didn't know.
the 1 yard line, if anything.
Yeah, terrible call by the refs. They're foolish. But if you have Austin Safarian-Jenkins, you can fire him up every week as a tight end one. They're looking for him. They're making it happen. 8 for 46 and a touchdown. Jermaine Kearse getting involved as well. He's got 4 for 79 in a touch. Robbie Anderson, again, 4 for 76 in a touch, but he did leave with an injury. So I think he could be in concussion protocol, so keep an eye on that. If you do have him, just pay attention to see where he's at there. He was anyway. I don't know if he is anymore. That's okay. So, and if you have a running back, if Bilal Powell comes back, you're going to want to start him because the other guys, what they do, 9 for 22 rushing from Forte, 10 for 22 for Elijah, they do Jack. Matt Forte, 8 for 59 in the receiving game.
That
So,
was good.
ball there.
See, the bad thing about that running game that they had with those two is they played the Patriots, who aren't that great against the run.
Yeah, doesn't really show that they can really get it done.
So Bilal Powell ball.
Pow, pow, pow. Now
Pow,
we're going to the Patriots. 20 for 38 for Tom Brady. 20 fantasy points because he got 2 scores in the pick, which, average day for most quarterbacks. Subpar for Tom, but, what you can do about it.
True.
Yeah. 11 for 52. And the score for Deion Lewis, who's taking over Gillis' spot, who was 10 for 44, and had a fumble. So,
He's not looking that good
he is not.
in the past few weeks, man.
No, but
It's
Brandon Cooks, 6 for 93. Knows even better than that.
exactly.
Gronkowski, 6 for 83, but 2 touchdowns and making moves after the catch. Running, looking spry.
that move he made.
No.
He's so big and looks so unathletic, but he's actually pretty athletic.
He's very athletic. So.
He looks slow, but then he's just like, oh, that move. I was like, what are you doing, dude? And he just runs past
Yeah,
him.
he does. He makes moves. So
He's dirty.
you're dirty.
Right.
Now, injury for here was Chris Hogan.
Yes.
Yeah. So took a shot to the torso. He came back to the game. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, there's no rib damage or anything like that. If not, it could be some cracked cartilage that possibly he came back and played. So we'll see what comes out of
Bruised
that.
up, something.
Now, who's ready for 2 of the best defenses fantasy-wise, the two worst actual live defenses. Because,
yeah, like what the heck?
I don't understand what's going on.
Both these defenses. It was back to back to back.
Yeah, it did not make any sense at all.
What happened? Dude, this was the most wild game towards
really
in the second half that I have ever seen.
It really was ridiculous.
I just kept looking at the score and I'm like, what? How? It was just down by like 30.
All right, tell me some stats from here. I want to look at the defense.
You got that man, Matthew Stafford, baby. We're going Detroit first, y'all. Matthew Stafford, 25 for 52. Terrible percentage. That's barely 50%. He had 312 yards, though, 3 touchdowns, but 3 picks. The touchdowns obviously outweigh the picks. But, I mean, against a defense like New Orleans, he should have done a lot better than that. But
they're not the same defense anymore, so...
Exactly. I don't know. I feel like with Lattimore back, their defense is going to be way better. And it's shown the last 2 weeks. Not with how they let the Lions come back, but in the run game, Amir Abdullah, 14 carries, 54 yards. It wasn't too great, but it wasn't terrible.
Nothing special.
We got Golden Tate, who got hurt. He hurt his shoulder. I know they're on a bye week next week, but they said he's going to be out multiple weeks. They said a minimum of 2, but he did have 7 catches, 96 yards, and a touchdown. But if you had Golden Tate, and for some reason the next guy's on the waiver wire, scoop him up, please, because he looked really good. And I think that he's finally going to start breaking out since Golden Tate's hurt. And that's Marvin Jones Jr., baby, with that Moss catch. 6 catches, 96 yards, and that 1 touchdown on that. Give me that Moss. Scoop. He was nice. He was dirty.
Looking like a mouse.
And then PPR value, Theo Riddick. 5 catches for 45 yards. Not great, but
9 points there, plus a few in the running game.
exactly.
So you get you about 10 points in PPR scoring. New Orleans, though, let me go back to the offensive side here real quick. There we go, Drew Brees. Not a great day, but playing game manager mostly, 21-31, 186, 2 TDs, 2 INTs, 15 fantasy points, and CBS standard scoring. Mark Ingram is the one you were looking for. If you held on to him, be happy. He balled out. If you traded for him, be happy. You got stud. 25, 114, 2 scores. Had a 51 yarder that looked beautiful. Probably could have housed it if he had done a little more, on it. But
one more move.
yeah, one more move. But Alvin Kamara also balled out at 7.5 yards per carry, 10 for 75. Man, this is going to be a dynamic duel in the backfield.
Oh, it's going to be way better than last year's.
Getting rid of AP was the best thing they could do. Don't even know why they tried the AP experiment. Doesn't even make any sense. Now, what also doesn't make any sense is transitions. Ted Ginn showing up random weeks, 4 for 66 in the score.
Like, what are you doing, Ted?
I don't understand.
Be consistent, bro.
Why he even exists. But
Stealing love from Michael Thomas, who got 3 catches for 11 yards, and that's an obvious start, Michael Thomas. You never sit in.
You obvious start. But let's go to the defense real quick. Transition to the next game. 36 for New Orleans defense.
Ugh. That's dirty.
Makes no sense. But following up, Detroit had 16 points. So their 2 defenses scored, but they let up too much scoring. I mean, they let up a ton of scoring.
What?
Ridiculous.
And then you got the Vikings. We'll talk about that another day. No, I'm just kidding.
We'll talk about them shortly.
No, we already did.
No, we didn't talk about them again.
Let's talk about the Vikings again, boy. No,
all right, and we're going down to the lightning round. We'll speed through these ones here coming up.
This game. I'm glad I started this quarterback there.
Start with San Fran. What we doing here?
Oh, we got a benching, y'all. We got a benching. They put in the rookie quarterback that they love in that organization, and that's Beathard, coming from Iowa. He looked decent. He was making throws that he needed to make. He also, you could see the jitters. But
almost let down a charge though to come.
Yeah. And that speaks good. I think that speaks way better volumes for Pierre Garçon owners. And I think
the prove-it quarterback's out there now.
And
the
minute he went in, freaking Pierre Garçon went from having 0 points to 10. And I was excited about that because I was like, wow. Oh, because I got him. Because we traded.
Interesting.
Who'd you give me? Mark Ingram and Pierre Garçon for Dez?
And Belil.
Well, that was a good trade, I think. I think it's going to even out. Especially with the talent level. I love it. But Carlos,
Here's talent. 13 for 28, 2 touchdowns though. But the yard per carry was terrible. But they went with the hot hand. Breida, you think he had a hot hand for 21. By the end of the day, none of them were really that great because as long as it was 10 yards, so if that's on one carry, the rest of his yards were doo-doo.
Yeah, 2 yards.
So, there's really not a hot hand on that terrible offense. So that sucks. But Washington-wise, Kirk Cousins, 25 of 37, 330, 2 TDs, 1 INT, and ran the ball in, 4 for 26 in the score, which you can expect from him. He had, 31 fantasy points? Yep, 31 fantasy points.
He had 35 in the Yahoo scoring.
Yep, 35 in our scoring.
I started him over Carson Wentz. At first it looked like a mistake, but it wasn't.
Nope, came out to be the real deal. Fire him up all the time in the Philly battle if you have him. Get him rolling, fire him, and fire Wentz. So that's going to be an awesome shootout.
I wish you could put a quarterback in the flex.
That'd be crazy. Chris Thompson got the main rushing attempt, 16 for 33. Terrible, what you expect from him. But receptions, 4 for 105, and that
all the
saves
time.
you.
Every time.
And here's the thing: is Jordan Reed started slow, 4 for 37. We'll see if he gets back to form, but if not, Vernon Davis is at form, 3 for 65.
Like, just give him the rock.
Now-
Vernon's a baller. Another 50-yard catch.
Yeah, they're trying to get Dotson out and more involved, so we'll see what happens out there. So, hopefully get Josh Dotson.
They have corner injuries also, by the way. Breland, he
Yeah,
had a chest injury.
Breland and Stephon McClure are both
So, if you have Carson Wentz for this Monday night game, fire him up.
Oh, and back to the Detroit game real quick. I forgot to mention Golden Tate's injury, and he left the fourth quarter. So, I mean, you got to keep an eye on that with shoulder and an ankle injury. So he's been basically ruled out supposedly for this week. So keep looking at that. Keep monitoring Golden Tate.
Yes, definitely. Keep an eye on that for next week. But if not, you can either fire up Marvin Jones, or you can get Kenny Galladay.
Who?
Marvin Jones. MJJ.
Oh.
Marvin Jones. Oh, this game.
Dude. How the Falcons just basically gave up
How do you go?
like the Super Bowl again.
17-0 at halftime.
Yep.
They lose 20-17. How do you not score? Do they not
In
realize?
their new stadium, they keep taking L's.
Bro, they got a run game. They got run games. When are they going to learn to run the ball?
Let's talk about them for a second.
Oh,
Let's talk about Matt
man.
Ryan's 24 for 35, 241, 1 score, 1 pick, 13 fantasy points. Let's talk about that dude because he was the
One pick
leading
and double
fantasy point
coverage.
person on that team.
It's ridiculous. They need to realize that you got Devontae Freeman, and if he's not going off, you got Tevin Coleman, who will probably be going off.
Freeman went 9 for 68 in rushing, and then he also had 2 for 11 in the reception. Coleman had 9 for 32 with a score, and 1 for 1 and 4 yards.
1 target, 1 reception, 4 yards.
Yeah.
But
So,
somebody finally came alive, and that was me. No, I'm just kidding. It was Austin. It was Hooper. 7 catches for 48 yards. So if you had him PPR, I mean, not coming alive, but I mean,
showing signs of life.
targets instead of like 2, you got 7.
There is oxygen flowing through that body of his. He's not just an empty shell running around in the field right now, which is good. Who else is not an empty shell and made a nice comeback? Jarvis Landry as well, but
Yeah.
Jay Ajayi,
Jay
I want that
Ajayi.
J name first.
Yeah.
So 26 for 130. So anybody that's had him and been sitting on him, happy to see him pull off a 100+ yard game
Fire.
and get a full workload.
Yeah, 26 carries finally, bro. Instead of like the 15, and then having Jay Cutler not do anything.
Just do nothing. But the other guy, Jarvis Landry is starting to make his 8 for 62 and a touch. Nice. Now, this could have been Devontae Parker.
I think that's exactly why it was.
But in Kenny Stills took 4 for 49 yards and a touchdown, which could have been Devontae's numbers, which would have been, you would have been happy about that in PPR or standard scoring.
Shoot,
So-
heck yeah. 10 points. Basically 11 since we get the points
Yeah.
for the 0.9, like 0.8, 0.7, stuff like that.
Decimal scoring. Julio Jones, 6 for 72, never will find the end zone.
For some reason,
He
can't.
doesn't.
It's like get him the dang ball in the end zone.
They need to. Now let's go to. They really do need to. We have a couple injuries in the next one too. So.
Oh yeah. Oh dang it. I didn't like it, but it's okay. Eli's the truth. Just kidding, Eli.
Why do you say that?
Cause bro, 11 for 19, but wait for the yards. Oh my gosh, dude, you guys are gonna lose it. 128. He had a touchdown, but no picks though. Which is good.
But the touchdown went to
Evan Ingram, baby.
who went.
Yeah, 8 catches, 82 yards. Or sorry, 8 catches. 5 catches, 82 yards, and a touchdown. He looked really good too. He was getting peppered.
He is the target leader there, going to be, because the next best receiver had 2 targets, 1 catch, 15 yards. He's gonna be the man there. He's gonna take over. He's more receiving tight end. Rookies
They put
usually
him in
don't
the
show
slot,
out like
too.
this, but there's no choice.
Exactly.
There is 0 choice there now. He has to show out.
There's no receiver right
So-
now. They lost 2 receivers and 3 because.
But they gave the running back.
Yes.
The Orleans Darkwa,
Darkwa.
21 for 117.
And it's not just a one-game thing. Last week he had very close.
He had like
Numbers to the
80
same.
yards and a touchdown, I
Yeah,
think.
and
62
his yards per
touchdown.
carry was above. It was like 5, I think. It was really nice.
That was a very solid day. Orleans Darkwa had 12 fantasy points, so you're not too mad about that. Not at all, not at all. Now, Trevor Siemian is doo-doo, but if he keeps throwing the ball to Demaryius Thomas, I'll be happy, because Demaryius went 10 of 14, 133. No score, but 23 fantasy points PPR, 13 fantasy points in standard scoring, minus the fumble that he had. So, but now here's the kicker to that. Trevor Siemian is hurt with a shoulder injury, so we'll see what happens because Brock Osweiler is going to take over.
Oh God.
He didn't. Siemian came back to play, but if it doesn't get better, if there's any regression, y'all might want to move on from Demaryius,
Yeah.
which is me in 2 leagues.
Just cause Brock Osweiler, dude, he couldn't hit a trash can that is a centimeter away from him with a wrapper. He'd miss it.
So you guys know
It'd float away.
centimeters really close, extremely close. CJ Anderson, for y'all that are worried, give him another week. We'll see what happens. If he doesn't show up then, maybe Jamal Charles takes over.
Yeah, but they had similar number. I mean, Charles had 4 less carries and 2 more yards, but still, 19 and 17 yards, terrible.
He's gonna take over.
Hey, bro, I wouldn't hate it. I like Jamal Charles. I think he's a baller, but nah, we'll see though. That game's done for, and I don't want to see it anymore. Breaks my heart. CJ Anderson is the reason why I didn't go perfect this week, because he got me 1.7 points and I lost by 4. All I needed was 5 points, 6 points. Like really, is that hard?
Maybe you should have Ryan Suckup.
Maybe. And don't get me wrong, I should have started my Mark Ingram instead of Javarius Allen. What? I panicked.
That's
honestly
more fantasy
actually
football
messed
right
up,
there.
messed
Come on,
up.
what are you doing?
I messed up. I was dumb. I thought I was switching him into my flex.
Why you gotta be so dumb?
Truth. I deserved that loss for that one, so I'm not gonna complain. This next game is the last.
This is so boring to the
baby.
4th quarter.
The 4th quarter got exciting. Whoa, I can't hear. Because Marcus Mariota looked like.
Excuse us.
I know. What the
It is
heck?
for everybody.
Contagious.
Right? It is.
Marcus Mariota did look good though. Yeah, they said, "Oh, he can't be a pocket quarterback. He's a scrambler. He's a good, run it outside." He didn't run out. He didn't do anything like that. Didn't do any rollouts, and he looked nice.
Yeah.
23 for 32, 306 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. I mean, yeah, you want the touchdown numbers to increase, but this is his first game back from a hamstring injury.
Right.
And
Playing in the pocket presence did a great job.
exactly. And the touchdowns went to the running backs, so can't hate on that, I guess.
Yep. Derrick Henry got his 19 for 131 in the
Oh,
score.
like the last
72-yard play that really took him there, but he still played pretty well outside of that, so which is good to see. DeMarco Murray left for the injury, so if you do have Derrick Henry, fire him up.
Yeah.
Fire him up. 12 for 41 and a touchdown for DeMarco Murray at the time. So that was solid, but Decker got involved. 7 for 88. Finally getting used. When you got to stand in the pocket and throw, that's what happens.
And he was getting open all day.
He was. He's finally figuring himself out in the offense, getting comfortable. Same with Rashard Matthews, 4 for 4, 69 yards. Excellent for him as well. Tywan Taylor got 2 for 61, the deep ball score. It was a beautiful dime.
That
So
was a dime.
yeah, excellent. It was
It was
one pass.
pretty too. It was like swirling.
Yep, 53-yard score. Boom, going straight.
And one player on that team though that I think that you guys might need to start. I don't know. You should. I think he's probably not going to do much for the rest of the year, and that's Delaney Walker. Just don't think that he's going to live up to
What he used to be.
what he was. I mean, he's older, so
Yeah.
I can't hate it. But the rookie tight end they have, if it might not be this year, probably next year, so it's kind of irrelevant. But Jay Smith, Gio Smith, something like that. He's good. He only had one catch for 10 yards, but still, it's because he wasn't.
He's learning from the man. So.
Exactly. But I wouldn't give up, especially if there's no talent left at the tight end position.
Yeah.
But I'd say, like, definitely pick
Bench
up.
him if you have.
Yeah, bench him. Don't cut him. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying bench him until he starts to pick up his game, where the matchups are nice.
2-0 paint-up game. T.Y. Hilton, not great, 1 for 19, but don't give up on him. Luck could be back coming up in the next couple of weeks. Brissett has been able to throw him. He threw for 177 yards to him last week, so on 10 targets or whatever. So don't give up on him. You're still going to end up probably trotting him out there. But Dante Moncrief was the guy after he dropped a clear touchdown.
Dude, that was a dime.
Yeah, he went 5 for 67 though, figured it out, and didn't hurt the team after that. Jack Doyle got involved, 7 for 15 to score. So everybody that had Jack Doyle and dropped him, sorry for your luck, Andrew Luck.
See, the thing is, they would have been tied. Or no, they would have been down by 3, sorry. Because they kicked a field goal. But they would have been down by 3, and I feel like it would have been a different ball game.
Yeah.
Because, that was...
Frank Gore, you just
Frank Gore looked good on plays, then he was getting stuffed.
Yeah, I don't know what you do there.
Yeah, that's
Something,
like...
I don't know, Marlon Mack, anybody who picked him up. Until Frank Gore gets hurt, which in this lifetime may never happen.
He doesn't get hurt, bro, for some reason. He's a freaking robot.
Don't start him. Just
definitely
leave him
don't.
Just leave him alone. That concludes the recap. Got through, split up, any teams that we missed, any games that we missed.
Nope.
No, I think we did it.
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
Nice.
we did.
Well, that is your week 6 recap, y'all.
The cap.
Thank you for chilling. Thanks for listening, watching, whatever you guys are doing. We appreciate everything. Like, subscribe to the channel.
To the channel.
Woo! Man, we relaxed all day. All right. Y'all, have a good day. Have a good night. Adios.
Bye.